What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Travis. Of course, this is TW Motorsports, and today, yes, we have another truck here. Now, no, it's not my truck. It's actually a guy I work with. His name's Justin. And so today we're going to do a few things to his truck. He's been bugging me ever since he's seen me work on mine to do a few things to his, and so we're going to do some updates to his truck. And so the things that we're going to do today, guys, are we are going to get rid of that ugly old man chrome on the side. He said when he bought this truck, they just put it on. He showed up and it was on there. So we're going to try to get that off. And I've never done one that's, you know, quite that big. Obviously, I've taken trim off the sides of trucks. But the other thing is, look at these headlights, guys. They are completely trashed. So we're going to be replacing those and the side markers with something new. As you can see, even the GM stuff leaks over time. You can actually see his daytime running light right there and all that water. So we've got some new bulbs, we've got new housings, and we've got all of this to take off. Now, obviously, there's probably going to be some paint correction involved in this as well, but we have a pretty decent day today. It's not freezing cold, but it's not real warm either, and the sun's down. So let's get to work. So I've got everything I think I'm going to need. I've got my heat gun, I've got some fishing line, I've got my 3M adhesive remover, and I have my eraser wheel. Now I think, guys, I'm hoping anyway, that there's just a thin line all the way around this. I don't think the whole thing is two-sided tape. I literally think just the lips or the edges are. So we're gonna get some of that fishing line behind there after I heat it up a little bit. And I really wish the sun was out because that would kind of help things, but it's not. And get this heated up. We'll see if we can get this off and what it looks like underneath. So this is being a little stubborn with the normal fishing line method. So I've got a plastic scraper here. And so what we're gonna do is just kind of push this behind and break that tape loose. And it is taped in the center. I didn't think it would be, but it's taped all the way down. Which makes things a little bit harder. That's a lot of tape. And it really would help, guys, if the sun were out. So what we're going to do is I'm going to keep heating it up, and eventually we'll get there. So, unluckily, it's got glue the whole freaking way. So that sucks because it's going to be a little more in depth than what I thought it would be. It's not a huge deal. It just takes a little more time with the heat gun. Like I said, if the sun were out, that would make a huge difference. But I'm going to go ahead, wipe this down, and then we'll use our eraser wheel to get the excess glue off. And then, like I said, we are going to have to paint correct this area. Otherwise, it's just going to be almost two different colors. But yeah, we got a lot of work ahead of us, guys. So as you can see, I've used the eraser wheel, got all the glue off, and that happened pretty quick. I wish, honestly, it just had glue and not the chrome pieces to peel off. But I'm going to go ahead and hit this with some M105 and my microfiber on my buffer, and we'll clean this area up real good. This will all go away pretty quickly, and we'll move on. So let's hit it with this and see how much better it's going to look just going over this area. So I think a couple more passes on this and it's going to look really good, guys. It looks like there's some light marring on underneath that even, so I don't know what's going on with that, but I think I should be able to get that off. But I'll probably time lapse the rest of the truck because I'm going to do the same method. I'm just going to repeat it over the entire truck, and we have a lot of work to do. So now that we're done with that, and it took me a couple hours, guys, to get that off and then buff everything out, I think it looks way better. So it keeps it from, a lot of times that'll hold rust back there or start rust because it's holding water, and you don't want that. So that's out of the way, and it's all stacked up here, that rolled up chrome here. So now what do we have to do? We have to install these new headlights. So he's installing the same headlights, actually bulbs, the LEDs that I put on the Tahoe. And then as far as the housings, he got those from Amazon as well. And guys, I will list both of these in the description, as well as everything I've used like always. But I'm gonna pop the hood, set you guys up on a tripod, and we will try to get these old headlights and side markers out of the way. So the first thing, obviously, we need to get the hood up. And these are a little bit different than the GMCs, but not bad. Pull this little pin out, and the headlight should be loose. And we just have to turn, get each one of the lights out. Now guys, I'm probably gonna go ahead and take out the grille. He did order a new emblem, but it's not here yet, but I might have something for that. I am probably, like I said, I'm probably gonna take out the grille. So in order to do that, I'm gonna have to take out these quick plastic disconnects. But in fact, I'm gonna go grab that stuff. We'll get this thing out of the way now because I do want the grill out of place. It just makes putting these in a little bit easier. Now, do you have to? No, but that's just the method that I choose to do. So now all we have to do, it's a little bit different than the GMC grill. They're just clips that hold all this front end together. We just need to pop those clips loose. And the grill is out of the way. So now that we have the grill out, we have access to, like I said, you can get these out, the side markers, without doing that, but I'm gonna go ahead and get this other headlight out. Get it set aside, and then we will get, here, the water, some water in that one as well. Now to get these out, there's just a clip. You gotta push back on both sides. I'll show you guys what they look like once I get them unplugged here. So this guy and this here, that's all you have to do to get those out. Listen to the water in that one. Now this one for sure is the worst one out of the bunch. It actually has a broken bulb in it as well. The daytime running light is snapped off in here. And you can see the bulb rolling around inside. So we are good to go, guys. I am going to replace his two bottom bulbs as well. The outers are just a 194. I believe these are a 3157, but I'm going to replace all the bulbs in the front. I'm just replacing the tops with LEDs. These will just be standard halogens. So I went ahead and got the bulb out of the 194. These are probably not as bad as I thought. This one, though, that was broken off, looks like it's pretty rusty. It's pretty rough. Maybe fun to get this one out. Making a mess, that's for sure. Now that we got the old ones out, let's put some new ones in. So obviously the 194, we're using an amber instead of clear because the side markers are all clear. And in order to be legal, we need that color bulb in there. I am using a little dielectric grease just to make sure they don't get too warm. And then we have daytime running lights, which Probably should have had him order some HIDs for this, but maybe he'll upgrade down the road. I completely forgot when I told him to order the headlights to have him order these and HIDs. So let's go grab our bottom light and we'll get it into place. So as you can see, the new housing is completely clear, even the side marker. We'll start with that one. And these just push in and turn. They're actually a pretty snug fit, which is good. Sometimes they're not. That one is not a very snug fit. Let's try this one. That one's pretty snug. So once we get that in, we need to go in with this side first, so the closest to where the grill would be, and then this one just pops in behind. They seem to fit pretty good. I guess we really won't know until we get the headlight in and then the grill put into place. But I'm gonna go grab the headlight and the new headlight bulbs, which that's gonna be epically better at night. I mean, he probably couldn't see much, honestly, at night right now with this glazed over as the headlights were. So let me go grab the LEDs and the new housing. So before I put the housing in, I'm just going to spin these into place. And what we want, guys, is we want that beam facing straight up and down, just like this when it's in the truck. So sometimes you have to move these around until they're right where you want them. And believe me, it's easier to do it like this than trying to fish them in later. So there's the dim. Let me go grab the bright and we'll get it in as well. Same situation there. You want it facing straight up and down. On my Tahoe, I had to mess with this just a little bit to get it to fit the way I wanted. So now we're good to plug them in. And they do give you a little more room here. So just fish this line. You don't want to pinch anything, so fish it back into place. Honestly, guys, I like this setup a little bit better than the one on my Tahoe. It just seems to fit a little nicer. Now there's a little section down here in the bottom these set in, and then it goes back into the housing just a little bit. I am going to have to trim, it looks like, a little bit of this bracket because the light won't go back far enough to clear it. So may have to make a little bit of a cut, and I'll just use my Dremel here to trim this area right here, and then a little bit on this side. Just the fans on these are a little too far out for this to fit correctly, which, you know, hey guys, that's something that sometimes not everything fits perfectly. And you can see that I'm with it in the bottom channel, I'm maybe an inch from clearing, so it's not going to take much to just trim that out and make everything fit. Two sections here that I had to clearance is right here where the bulb sets on both of these pieces of plastic. Everything's still just as sturdy as it was. It had that much movement in it before, so you're not really affecting anything. So just so you know, if you use aftermarket bulbs, chances are that's going to happen. But now we're ready to plug these things in, and I'm going to go ahead, set it into place. Just like before, we need to make sure we thread our wires in correctly so they're not hitting anything. Get this in the channel it belongs in, and we are good. Just gotta find, I don't know where I set my little metal pin. I'll have to find it. We'll slide it back in and we're good to go. So I found my pin. It was setting under the hood, under this plastic piece. Once we slide it into place, it goes in this little channel right here, and we are set. I'm going to go ahead and peel this off. And it looks pretty good, guys. We'll see how they fit. Obviously, we'll have to make some adjustments at night or when it gets a little darker. But nothing's pinched. Looks like everything's working well. I'm going to go ahead and move on to the other side here, and I'm sure we'll have to trim on this side as well. But I'm going to go ahead and put the side marker in. They do come with everything blocked off, which keeps dirt and debris out of them, I guess. That one's in a really odd place to turn. Same thing, go in with the inner side first, followed by the other side. And I'll go ahead and trim this one as well, get the bulbs in and see where I need to trim. And then I'll show you guys once we get both the lights in. We'll test them before we get the grill in place. Now that we got everything hooked up, let's test them to make sure they work. So the dims are working, our park lights on the bottom are working, and our brights are working. Okay, that's good, guys. Now before I snap the grill back in, he did order a new bow tie, but it's not here yet. GM paints these. These are actually clear and they paint them from the back side, so they start to come apart. But what I'm gonna do, and he doesn't know that I'm doing this, but I'm gonna wrap this thing with some black vinyl I've got laying around. And these are just 10mm speed nuts is what they call them. I really don't like them because generally they strip really easy. But we're gonna pop this thing out of here. I'm gonna see if I can get some wrap on it. I won't show you guys that process, but because chances are I'm not very good at it and I'm probably not the one you need to watch, but we'll see if we can make it look a little bit better for the time being until his new one comes in, and then we'll snap this thing back into place. Well, it doesn't look the greatest, but it's better than it was. So let's get this thing back into place. So we're just putting those clips back in the same spot they came out of. There's two clips in the corners here, one on the bottom, one on the top on each side. And everything seems to fit nice. So I'll go ahead and put this plastic piece back in, and then there's a couple other little things I need to do. So the next thing I'm going to do is we're going to get rid of this stupid antenna. This long antenna looks ridiculous. I've got a shorter one that I'm going to replace it with. Just an 8mm, guys, is what I used to take that old one off. And this isn't something that he asked me to do. I'm just doing it because, well, I hate the look of that old one. And I'm going to have to go grab a different adapter. But the shorter antenna, I did wrap it in some tape just because when I tighten it up, I don't want to scratch it up. So I got the correct adapter on there. There's like 20 of them in the package. So now we'll tighten this thing up. I'm using an adjustable end wrench because when you put tape on it, it makes it a funky size. and the replacement antennas are always like standard, or I mean, I have a standard that probably fits it, but I don't know, to me this works a little better. Once we get it tight, we can take the tape off. I have to go get an X-Acto knife to get the rest of the tape off, but wow, that's way better looking. So the last thing he asked me to put on were some of the license plate lights, like what we have on the Tahoe and on the truck, and believe me, they are way brighter. So I'm going to go ahead and slide these in. Now he does know he needs to replace the bumper, but you know, these bumpers are pretty common that they rust. They get dirt up underneath that pad and they just fall apart. So I'm going to pop these in really quick. Shouldn't take long. I won't show you guys that because if you want to check that out, I have it in a couple other videos. But I will show you guys around the truck once I get it all lit up, and we should be finished up. So I got those lights in, and as you can see, one is not working. Now, it's not because the bulb's not working, it's actually the socket, guys, and I don't have another socket laying around. That one had some corrosion in it. I cleaned all the corrosion out. It still doesn't want to work, but the light is working, so he's just going to have to get a new plug. Not a big deal. I can put that on for him some other time. But let's take a look around this truck. I think it cleaned up nice. Those piles of chrome over there, it looks better without those on, that's for sure. And it cleaned up really well. The paint cleaned up really well. And the front is it's like night and day, guys. With the headlights on, you can see they're on now, and I won't show you guys how to aim them. If you want to check how to aim these out, I have a video on my Tahoe there that I did that. It's the same exact process on this. Obviously this is a little higher, but once it gets dark, I will do that for him. I think he's gonna love it. The bow tie, it looks good from here. Looks better than what it did, and of course the short antenna. A couple things that he didn't know I was gonna do, I went ahead and did. But guys, hopefully you like this. I'm sure he's gonna love it. If you do though, please smash that thumbs up button, guys. If you're not subscribed, go down, smash that subscribe button. Make sure you ring that bell icon, that way you're notified every single time we drop a new video. And well, stay tuned to see what we work on next.